All right. Hello, Rising Warriors Community Church. Good morning. I'm Mr. Tom.
I'm Jenny.
Miss Jenny. So this morning, we would like you just to think about a few things, and if you're going to comment, we do want to ask a few questions. And there's a little bit of delay, but this is some of the questions that I want to ask, and then maybe you could type a little response to have some interaction. But what can you do when you go driving, or where do you go? Where would you like to go when you drive? What's your favorite place you've been? Where you're going to go? I know right now you don't drive a lot,
Yeah.
but I want you to post something about where would you like to go. Disneyland, Grand Forks, Northern Air. Our kids love Northern Air. That's so much fun.
Swimming.
McDonald's,
Playground.
the water park, places that you drive. Okay, just think about that. Write a comment, write a post on there, and we'll go from there. Okay, so just you can do that as we're going on to today's lesson. Okay, so good morning, David. Morning, Dom.
Good morning, guys.
Good to see you. So yeah, post something where you drive. Where do you like to drive? Where do you like to go?
Where would they like to go when they drive?
Okay, so we'll get back to that in just a second. So, all right, so today, this lesson this week was about the promised land, and that they sent scouts to go and see the promised land, okay? So that Moses said, we're going to send some people, we're going to check out this land, and you come back and report to us, okay? So you remember the story? They went out, and they saw, what did they see? What did they see in the land? Do you remember? You might have to read the story, go back, ask, what did they see? They saw giants.
Mm-hmm. Big giants.
They saw big buildings, fortified buildings, armies, right? But they also saw beautiful fruit, a great land where things grew, and it was beautiful, it was wonderful. And that was what God had for them, okay? So they came back and they reported to Moses, and they said, some of them said, this is a wonderful land.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua and Caleb said, beautiful land. We should take it. It's everything that God promised us. Land flowing with milk and honey. Huge grapes. Wonderful. You guys like grapes? Big, huge grapes. Great land for everything they need. Wonderful promised land. But then some of them, they had not a good attitude, did they? They said, there are big giants in the land. Big, strong giants, and we can't defeat them. They're tall. Remember that one picture? There's a guy in there with a big axe, and they're cutting down trees and carrying them all by themselves. Wow, big. We can't defeat them, okay? So you can look at your story. So what happened? Right? There was a fight, and there was fear, and it ended up that they didn't go to the promised land. They didn't take it because they were afraid. Okay? So we want to talk about fear this morning. We want to talk about what God has promised us and what keeps us from that promise. Okay? And learning is part of that. So Miss Jenny is going to have a little teaching class here, and we're going to have Hazel come in, and they're going to start teaching us a little bit about
To the hotel.
to the hotel. Yes, the hotel. I like a hotel. Swimming, right?
Yeah.
Hazel likes swimming. Jalen likes swimming, right? I don't know where Hazel is. Hazel, you coming? All right, she's coming. So we're going to do a little bit of lesson. You guys go to school. I know we stopped going to school, but we're going to talk about school right now and some of the things. So I'm going to go ask Fred to come and help us do a little lesson, all right? So Hazel and Miss Jenny are going to show us a little bit about a lesson. Okay. She's coming.
Come on, Hazel. We're going to go to school today. Are you coming or what? Okay, I kind of need you. So we're going to do some math. I suppose a lot of you know how to add. But we're going to learn to add. Hazel.
Hello?
Hello, Fred.
Yes.
Say hi to Fred. We
Hi.
got Fred with us today.
Yes.
Can we teach Fred how to do some math?
I would love to learn how to do some math. What math would be great.
What should
Yes.
we do, Hazel?
I love math would be so good I could add money. Yes, money.
You like money?
Yes.
Lots of money.
Lots of money, but I need to know how much money and how to add things so I get a job and I want to buy stuff. So how do we do that? I don't know.
Okay,
I don't
so I have these blocks here, Fred.
Oh, I love blocks. Do you like blocks?
So I have two right here, right? We have
Okay.
2 blocks.
Yes.
And Hazel, so we got 2 more blocks.
Okay, two.
So if
two.
I put 2 add 2 and 2 together. How many blocks, Fred, do I have?
2 plus 2 is, how do you, 1, 2, I don't know, it's too hard, I'm never gonna get it.
No, Fred.
Oh, it's too hard.
But Fred.
Why?
Fred,
Why?
Fred,
What?
don't, you can though, you can.
I can?
You look at these blocks here,
Okay.
you got 2 and 2,
Okay,
and you
2.
just count them.
Okay.
1, 2,
1, 2,
2, 3,
3,
4.
4. Oh, okay.
So 2 plus 2 is 4.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Right.
Okay, let me try. Okay, so I got, where are the blocks here?
Right here.
Oh,
Right
okay,
here,
over
Fred.
here?
Fred,
Oh,
right here.
I'm sorry, I can't, it's bright in here. Okay, 1, 1,
Yep.
2,
2,
2, 3,
3.
3, and 4. I did it! 4!
See?
2
Yes.
plus 2 is 4! Yay!
See, Fred,
Thank
you can do it.
It was hard, but you know what? I did it, and I feel so good. That's great. Thank you
Give
so
a high
much
five
for
to
helping
Fred.
me. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Oh, give me a hug. You're so nice. You guys, it's so nice when you help. Thank you.
So we can do things like that. We can do our math. And I know 2 plus 2 is probably a very easy problem, but we can do it.
Well, how was that? I got back here. Did that go good?
I think so. I think Fred learned
Did
how to
Fred
add.
do good? Did he do good? Oh, that was great. Sometimes things can be hard. Did Fred have a hard time? Did he cry?
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys ever cry? Good morning, Mary. Yes. Good morning, Mom. Sometimes things can be hard and we cry. Oh, I can't do it. I can't. It's so hard. But you know what? Our teachers and our moms and dads help us, and then we learn and we can go something. You know what? You guys go to first grade. Some of you go to second grade. Some of you third. And it's hard learning that, but our teachers help us so that we can go somewhere. We go to what? The next grade. Who wants to do the next grade over again? Do you want to do kindergarten again? No, but you haven't been in kindergarten. But you don't want to go back to school and do the same thing again. You want to go to the next thing so that you can go somewhere else. And that's what the people of Israel, they were going to go somewhere wonderful. But you know what? They thought it would be too hard and they were afraid and they got worried, right? I got another example for you guys about learning and how sometimes we can be afraid, okay? So, how many of you guys out there know how to ride a bike? Hazel, you know how to ride a bike? Guys, remember riding a bike, right? Mom, who knows how to ride a bike? Who has a way of riding a bike? You guys got to ride a bike? How did you learn how to ride a bike? Right? Somebody helped you, okay? So here we go. I'm going to move this chair over a little bit. So, what we're going to do, Hazel, you know, this is kind of how we taught Jalen to ride a bike. So, you sit on the bike like this. Are you ready, Hazel?
You ready? Should we go?
Here she goes. Mom's going to hang onto the back. And there she goes. She's going to go. And then you're going to pedal the bike, right? And you pedal the bike and you're hanging on like this. Is it kind of scary when you're hanging on onto the edges like that? There she goes. Look at that. Woo! Say hi.
Hi, Hazel.
Say hi, Hazel. Right? She's a little bit too small for that bike, but you know what? You get the point when you're hanging on, right? And then you start pedaling by yourself when you did that. Was it kind of scary, right? At first, it was like, whoa. And sometimes you maybe tip over, but your mom or your dad or your grandpa or your grandma or your friend was helping hold right behind you, right? Holding on right behind the bike. I got Hazel right there. And so she wouldn't fall down, and then she learned to walk and go by herself. And that was the same thing. Caleb and Joshua, they wanted to go to this great land, but other people forgot who was with them. Who was with God's people always? Do you remember who's with him? With you guys all the time. Who said that? Jesus, yes. God, that's right. All the time. And what we trust about God, who he is, gives us power to go out and do things. So when we know God is with us and we can't fail, that's what Joshua and Caleb said. They said, we're not going to fail because God is with us. Mom and dad is with us. They're with us. They're going to hang on. They're going to help us go somewhere. achieve something, the promise. And that's what God wants to do with us. He wants to help us achieve something and go somewhere. Now think about the places you can go when you ride your bike. You can ride, maybe some of you have learned, I've seen Brody ride bike. He rides all the way to town. He rides all the way to our house. I see Brody at our house. Now he drives a scooter. Who wants to drive a scooter or a four-wheeler? Well, those are things that we learn that are promises that make life better. And God has more of those things. But at first when we learn those things, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary, right? So, and again, the question was, we had a question earlier, was about where can we go when we drive, right? And someone said the hotel, right? You get to go to a hotel. Good morning. Yes, right? Where do you get to go? Where are some of the places you go when you drive? Just think about it. Now, how many of you kids out there know how to drive? Piper, Dominic, you guys know how to drive yet? No. Some of you know how to ride bikes, right? But it was hard. You had to learn, right? And you had to have a test. You ever have tests at school? So you could learn to drive. But when you learn and you pass the test, you get a promise. You get a prize. And you can take that and you can go somewhere. And God wants us to know we can go places. I just think about going to the water park. Just think if you had to walk, it takes so long. Or go to Grand Forks, it takes you all day. All day. But now you can get into a car and you can go somewhere. Right? You drive there and it's fun to drive somewhere and be there. And it makes life so much easier. So God is with you, wanting to show you all the wonderful things as you grow up. And I know sometimes it can be hard. But remember who's in us, right? Christ in us. I can do all things. Remember, that's one of our scriptures. Through Christ who strengthens me. Where is he? The Holy Spirit. Where is he? So Miss Jenny has got another illustration. Now, I'm going to say, moms and dads, we're going to do some things with fire here, okay? Mm-hmm. Kids, do not, disclaimer.
Do not do this at home.
Yeah, I don't have that. Do not do this at home, children, okay? Do not play with fire. Do not touch fire. Miss Jenny is a trained professional on candles. Oh yeah, you have lots and lots and lots and lots of candles, okay? So let's pull this back just a little bit so we can see what Miss Jenny is doing right here, okay? So we'll let Miss Jenny take it away with the professional fire.
First of all, I'm going to light the candle. As all can see that. You see that there? Okay. So,
she's riding her bike.
Yeah.
That's the bike she learns how to ride. That's tricky too.
I got baking soda. I'm going to put a little bit of vinegar in here. And you watch it as it fizzes. And then as we pour the gas on, you can see it burned it out. It's the same with fear. If we allow fear, and we don't trust in God, and we allow fear, it can put out the fire. It can keep us and hold us back from stepping into what God has for us. See, Joshua and Caleb saw what they looked at God. They didn't look at the obstacles in front of them. They looked ahead and looked at God. A lot of times with fear, do this again. It holds us back and it keeps us from entering into our promise. It keeps us from doing all that God has commanded us and promised us. We need to focus on God's promise. We need to look up and look at what God has. Woo! That stinks. See, Caleb and Joshua remembered the promise. They remembered what God had done for them. They knew that as they went into the promised land, that God would be with them. They didn't have to be afraid. They looked up to God. Where the other 10 spies, they looked at the obstacles, they looked at the giants in the land, and they focused on that, and they looked at themselves as grasshoppers. They looked at themselves as tiny. But with God, we can go in and take our promise. With God, we can go in. He is with us, and we can take that. It says, trust in the Lord with all our heart, and lean not on our own understanding. We need to trust in God.
Yes.
And kids, you are to be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So God is with you, kids. You guys are courageous. Your kids are strong. Your kids are mighty warriors. You can go in. It's even with the bike. If you're scared, get on the bike again. The school, you can do it. You can do math, you can do reading, you can do these things.
That's right.
Baseball, whatever it is that God has placed. Driving, I know a lot of you kids aren't old enough to drive, but you can drive when you get older, you can do these things. God has put that within you. So we just need to believe and trust in God and not be afraid of what's in front of us, the obstacles that are in front of us. That we are strong, we are courageous, we are mighty women and mighty men, mighty children. You guys are warriors. We just remember what God has done, what God is, and who He is for us. And He will go with us into the land where the giants are. He will go with us to fight and take down all the giants that are in our land. And yeah, that's what I have. Just trust God and believe in His promise. Don't forget the promises that He has for you kids. Don't forget your prophetic words. Those are your promises.
That's right.
Just not to forget who you are, because God is with you, and God will go with you wherever you go. If it's in the schools, wherever it is, God is there, and He will be with you, and He will guide you and direct you. We don't want to let fear smother us out. We want the light. We want us to keep burning. Don't want the. Sorry, I can't.
Light it up.
We want it to keep burning. We don't want fear to smother that down, or fear to smother down our dreams, our visions, our prophetic words. We want to keep this shiny and go in and possess all that God has promised us. So that's what I have.
You guys know, like fire, you see it burning? It needs what's called oxygen. It's like feeds the flame, right? And sometimes when we say we can't do it, I can't do it, right? Or I'm not going to do it. And have you ever said that? Moms, dads, it's kind of tough. When you do that, and when the people do that, it drowns out your future, right? You guys have such a future. You can do all things through Christ. You can do it. And as parents, we encourage you because we know you can do it, right? And we're there to help you. And I can do it. Our God is so big. Remember Linda? She always teaches, God is so big, so strong, so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do for you. So you're finding out, like right now, what's something that's really, really hard? Being home all the time, not seeing your friends. I hear that all the time. It's hard. I mean, we don't get to visit with people anymore as much as we used to. I mean, you could call, but we just miss being together and friends, and that's hard. So we can get frustrated with that. So in these times, what can we do to make things easier? We play with brothers and sisters. We learn how to do other things together, pray. But you guys, it's kind of hard sometimes, and that's why Promise is so. The sad part of the story is that because they said it's too hard and we can't do it, they never got to see it.
Yep.
They never got to drive that car, you know? They said it was too hard. Didn't want to do the test. Sometimes you get those butterflies when you go to school. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to. Well, they missed out on everything that God had for them. And we don't want you guys to miss out. Some of you guys are going to need to drive every day to go to work, right? So we want you to know that. But also, more importantly, what God has for you guys, it's amazing. Because when God goes with you, there's nothing you can't do. Everything. You can do anything that God has put on your heart to do. That's why vision boards, moms and dads, is so important. Because in these times, the enemy wants to rob our dreams and say you can't. But you know what? We can. So we need to focus on those words now more than ever. And speak life to you guys. You guys are fantastic. I watch you kids. There's nothing you guys can't do. Abigail, Bristol, I think about all you guys who are go-getters. You guys are awesome, and you're go-getters. And we love you guys so much. We miss you guys so much. And it's not going to be much longer, but we'll be back together again. And there's things coming up this summer. It's going to be great. And hopefully we can do the camp and all those things with you guys. I'm looking forward to it. And whatever we can do, we're going to do together. So that's awesome. Remember, keep your lights bright, huh? Don't let all the fear and worry, and you can do all things through Christ, right? Who strengthens you. You guys have a promise, and all things are possible, all right? So we love you guys. We miss you guys. You guys have a wonderful day. And yes, you'll be someday driving to that hotel or driving to that place and going swimming someday very shortly. So pray. Going to Grand Forks and doing those things again. It will happen again. So we love you guys. We miss you. All right. We'll see you guys later. Have a blessed rest of the Sunday, and we'll see you for sure next week, for sure.
All right. Bless you guys. We love you. Say goodbye.